Hello there, and welcome to Foodie Legends, your go to source to the best foods around the world and their history. In our last episode, we visited the colorful country of the Philippines to have a taste of their iconic fiesta cuisine. Now, let's go to the other side of the spectrum and have a taste of the Philippines' more challenging delicacies. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell so you guys can catch up to our latest food journeys. What are we waiting for? Let's go! Coming in at number one on our list is the ultimate gateway to the long list of Philippine exotic foods, none other than the balut. Every time a Filipino will baptize their foreigner friends, it wouldn't be complete without a piece of balut paired with beer waiting on the table. But what is balut anyway? Basically, balut is a fertilized duck egg. It is incubated between 14 to 21 days, then steamed. The challenge in eating balut is by eating the semi developed duck fetus hiding under the shell, drenched in its own soup.
Oh my god! Wow!
The type of egg usually used in making balut is the egg of a molar duck, commonly known in the Philippines as the pateros duck. Balut is best eaten by cracking a portion of its upper shell just right at the top. The thin membrane must be removed to expose the soup and the actual egg. Then sprinkle just a tiny dash of salt and pour a small amount of sinamak, a type of coconut vinegar spiced with bird's eye chili, garlic, and ginger. Have a taste of the soup first, which has a slightly salty but surprisingly deep and refreshing flavor, enhanced by the salt and spiced vinegar. Once you finish consuming the soup, you can now break the egg to expose the solidified egg yolk and the harder egg white. The egg yolk has a creamy taste, while the whites have a tough and slightly crunchy texture. These are the good parts of the balut, but if you want to take your curiosity one notch higher, then you can eat the balut's centerpiece, its underdeveloped duck. If you get lucky, you may get a duck that is nearly fully formed, which some may find quite off-putting. It has a very crunchy texture, although it can be somewhat an acquired taste. It is also believed that balut is an aphrodisiac, and a Filipino joke was made because of this belief. Pinatigas ng balut ang tuhod ko, which translates to, balut made my knees harder.
Whoa, mama!
Coming in at number two on our list is another dish that people believe can make you hard and strong for the entire evening. It's the mysterious soup number five. You don't know what soup number five is? Well, have you heard of Rocky Mountain oysters?
Strong, I can feel it.
If you know what Rocky Mountain oysters is, then you have a good idea of the main ingredient used in soup number five. Well, let's not keep the suspense longer. Soup number five is a famous exotic hangover dish in the Philippines, and its main ingredient? Well, none other than the bull's penis and testicles. Yeah, you heard that right. Soup number five is the bull's genitalia. But why was it called soup number five and not any other number? According to urban legends, this infamous soup got its iconic name because the owner of the restaurant which first served the dish had four more anonymous dishes in his menu, using only numbers to label these dishes. What are these dishes? No one knows. This gimmick was the owner's way to discreetly label his dishes and to entice the eaters on its mysteries. Coming in at number three on our list is the Philippines' exotic answer to the Western ham and cured meat, the Etag. The craft of dry curing meat is one of the most fundamental ways of preparing meat, as old as civilization itself. Different countries have their takes on curing meat, and as early as 3000 BC, records state that Mesopotamians cured their meat with sesame oil and salt. The ancient Romans dry cured their meat with salt to preserve it during long travels, where the soldiers of the Roman Republic and Empire can eat it as part of their rations. In the mountainous regions of the Cordillera, where the history of pre-colonial Philippines is still visibly felt, Etag is a doorway to the past of the said region. Etag is a term used in Cordillera, referring to its native way of preserving pork. In this process of making etag, known as panagetag, the fresh parts of the slaughtered pig is generously rubbed with huge amounts of salt. Then the slabs of meat will be hanged and dried under the sun for several weeks or months. The meat can also be smoked using the wood of a tree that Igorots called alnos, although guava trees can be used as an alternative. According to the locals, the longer the etag is cured and air-dried, the tastier and more expensive it would be. Over time, the meat's color will be darker and darker because of the long process of dry aging. What makes etag part of our Philippine exotic food picks is because of the preparation itself. Since etag is hung in the open air, the dried meat has maggots crawling in its flesh because it was exposed to the elements and the flies. Because of this, etag also has a foul odor that can challenge the bravest eaters. Its surface is also covered with a layer of white molds, just like the molds in classic cheeses. Don't worry though, because before you eat the etag, the molds will be sliced away first and washed with water to remove the maggots and lessen the saltiness of the meat. Once you get used to the thought of its origins, etag is usually not that bad, tasting like smoked bacon or ham. Coming in at number 4 on the list is the Kamaru, a delicacy that may seem exotic even for local eaters, but once you get a taste of this bad boy, you will find it irresistible. Kamaru is otherwise known as mole crickets, a type of insect that can usually be found on rice paddies in the Philippines. Initially, farmers found mole crickets to be nothing more than headaches, because they are considered pests who eat the roots of the rice plants, causing their crops to grow poorly or the seedlings to die. Kamaru are usually found swimming in the water or burrowing holes in the farmlands. Pampanga earns a de facto title as the culinary capital of the Philippines because it produced a lot of great cooks. And this province has a lot of dishes to brag about in their gastronomic repertoire. Do you think Pampanga chefs looked at the Kamaru and thought, "No, I can cook this one"?
Hell no, no, to the no, no, hell to the no, no.
As it turned out, this pesky insect turned out to be something of a culinary delight, and so they became one of the most underrated delicacies in Pampanga. Kamaru is a very cheap substitute for meat, and you can buy a kilo for only 50 pesos. That's a lot of meaty insects for $1. Kamaru is popularly cooked as an adobo, the classic Filipino way of cooking, well, basically, most meat and vegetables available in the market. These crickets are washed properly to remove the soil from their bodies and then set aside. On a hot pan, garlic and onion are sautéed until their fragrance comes out. And then the kamaru is added, flavored with soy sauce, vinegar, pepper, and bay leaf. Oftentimes, kamaru is simply stir-fried with garlic, onions, vinegar, and chopped tomatoes. The crickets are then mixed and tossed until they are crispy, but the insides are still soft and moist. This crunchy delight is best served as a pulutan dish, dipped in soy sauce vinegar mixture, spiced by garlic, onions, and chilies. It's the strangest and the yummiest finger food you'll ever have. Coming in at number 5 on our list is the Tamilok, an exotic Filipino dish that is already making waves among the connoisseurs and the rookie foodies alike. Tamilok, known with its scientific name Cuphus polythalamus, is a type of shipworm, also known by its common name, woodworm. Although it has a named worm attached to its name, woodworm is not an actual worm. Tamilok is actually a member of the mollusk family, and to describe it as a shellfless saltwater clam is more accurate. Tamilok are usually found in decaying and rotting logs or sick tree trunks submerged underwater. This is why Tamilok earned the name woodworm despite its actual nature. The best way to eat Tamilok is by turning it into Filipino-style ceviche known as kinilao. The Tamilok is cleaned, then is cured in coconut vinegar, calamansi, salt, and chili. And there goes your Tamilok kinilao. Because it is basically a mollusk, Tamilok has a fishy flavor profile, with a hint of saltiness, quite slimy, and just resembles raw oyster. Tamilok has become a popular exotic delicacy in the Philippines, but the recent surge in demand threatens the existence of mangroves where Tamiloks live. So if you want to eat Tamilok, best to take what is only enough for yourself and not too much. Conserving the environment is still the top priority, of course. Thanks again for tuning in with us here today at Foodie Legends for our latest episode. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a nice taste into the exotic foods that the Philippines has to offer. But before you go, be sure to like this video and click the subscribe button for more delicious content every week. We'd love to hear your thoughts too, so leave a comment below to let us know what your favorite part of the video was, or if you want to just leave a comment or your few thoughts. You guys are awesome. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.